Hi, my name is Amanda Cortell-Brown, and I'd like to tell you about my experience in the Music and Education program this semester at New England Conservatory of Music. This semester, I had an internship through New England Conservatory. I was a voice teacher for one of the undergraduate voice classes for non-majors. And I had a wonderful time with my 6 students, and I also had a great time with the other student that I team taught with. His name is David Tyler. I also took the Music and Education intro class with Larry Scripps, and I took the Music Brain Development course with Lyle Davidson. So I had a very involved music and education semester. First, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my experience in the Music and Education intro course. So in this course, we talked a lot about our portfolio, and we had a lot of different readings that were relevant to music and education and how music can be used in education, whether or not it's actual music education or if it's liberal arts education with the use of music. We read Daniel Levitin's This Is Your Brain on Music, and we talked about it in our triple entry journals, which I will discuss in a moment. If you notice on my webpage, on the first page, the first tab, I have some of these triple entry journals that you can look at. Now, a triple entry journal is kind of what it sounds like. It's 3 columns, and it's a way that you can sort of document what you are learning or experiencing. It really can be on anything. The first column is objective, so it's what you heard, what you saw, what you did. For example, in reading the Levitin, we would put direct quotes in the objective column. The second column is your response. So let's say the quote was, let's see, you need 10,000 hours of practicing in order to become an expert. And so in the response column, you might say, well, what about Mozart? Did Mozart have 10,000 hours before he was 4 years old and he was already composing and he was considered a child prodigy? How does that make sense? So that's what the middle column is for. And the final column is implications. This is what it would mean in the greater scheme of things. What does it mean for music and education? What does it mean for future students or future teachers? So you might say, well, if students know that they need 10,000 hours to become an expert, that could either inspire them or it could discourage them. And so how do you promote that? That would go in the implication column. So that's a brief explanation of what these triple entry journals are. So with the Levitin, we also read Michael Sachs' Musicophilia, and we talked about synesthesia and some other very interesting topics in relation to music. And we wrote these all in our triple entry journals, and then we also had class discussion. So, we didn't just do reading, however. We did some other fun activities, one of which was something that we called the cups exercise. Now, what this consisted of is having any number of cups of different colors and placing them in a certain way in front of the class, and then without words, teaching the class how to do something. For example, when Mr. Scripps performed the exercise, he had us doing complex rhythms just by saying zoo, monkey, alligator, and then we would clap these rhythms all together. He would have half the class do one thing, half the class do the other, just by pointing to the cups. And so it's a really interesting tool to use, especially in younger classrooms, for example, in elementary schools, to teach anything from scales to individual songs or concepts like rhythms. So each of the students in the music intro class performed their own cups exercise, and they were very interesting to watch. They were all pretty different. My own exercise was probably the least related to my peers, in the sense that since I'm a vocal pedagogy student, I come at things from a slightly different perspective. And so I use the cups to teach basic German diction in the terms of Germanic vowels. I have my notes included on the first tab of my webpage for you to look at. And I taught them in the V for the vowel cone, pointing to the different vowels as I taught them. And I found that it wasn't as successful as some of the other exercises that involved clapping or tapping or singing.